Қайырлы күн, құрметті ханымдар мен мырзалар. Қайырлы күн, құрметті жоғары мәртебелі елші Свенолов Карлсон мырза, жоғары мәртебелі білім және ғылым министрі Асхат Қанатұлы Аймағамбетов мырза, құрметті қонақтар мен осы бүгінгі форумның жиналыстың қатысушылары. Ең алдымен барлықтарыңызды бүгін ұйымдастырылып отырған Қазақстан және Еуропалық одақтың білім саласындағы ынтымақтастығына арналған іс-шараға қош келдіңіздер дейміз. Уақыттарыңызды бөліп, осы шараға қатысып жатқандарыңызға көп-көп алғысымызды білдіреміз және құрметімізді білдіреміз. Dear Your Excellency Ambassador Svenolov Carlson, Your Excellency Minister Asхат Аймағамбетов, dear ambassadors, representatives of European Union member states, ladies and gentlemen participating on today's education event, let me welcome you. Our event, we called it Kazakhstan-EU Education Partnership, Reconsidering Higher Education, Internationalization, New Perspectives for Closer Academic Cooperation. So first of all, I am moderating this event, and let me introduce myself. My name is Elnura Abakanova. I am Communications Officer of the European Union Delegation to Kazakhstan. It is a pleasure to moderate this event, not only because I am education enthusiast, but also I am twice Bolashak Scholarship holder. I am graduate of Bolashak Scholarship. And I should just emphasize that this program, a Bolashak program, gave me a great opportunity to have quality education abroad and bring new knowledges, perspectives, and good standards to Kazakhstani organizations. So thank you very much for Bolashak for organizing this scholarship. And бүгін іс-шараны Еуропалық одақтың Қазақстандағы өкілдігімен ынтымақтасып, бірге ұйымдастырып, өздерінің басты кеңсесінде қабылдап отырған Айнұр Бағдатқызы Карбозоваға көп-көп алғысымызды айтамыз. So, dear Minister, ambassadors, and now let me emphasize that we're having this event dedicating to education partnership between Kazakhstan and European Union member state countries, thanks to the initiative of the Ministry of Education and Science of Kazakhstan and Center for International Programs. The European Union supported this initiative, and as we all know, the education is the basis for any development. It is my pleasure to note that we're having high-level event both from Kazakhstan and European Union and its member state countries. In this event, we are having in person a representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Ambassador at Large, Mr. Alexei Volkov. Thank you very much for coming and participating in this event. Good to see newly appointed Vice Minister Куаныш.
Недавно назначенный вице-министр господин Куаныш Ергалиев, вице-министр образования и науки. Хочу воспользоваться этой возможностью и поздравить вас с этим назначением.
Rich knowledge and background will help to high up the education system in Kazakhstan, that you will share your experience and background. Thank you. We have here in person European member state countries representatives, and it is my pleasure to introduce Ambassador of Belgium, Alexis de Krumbrug de Pikendal, please. Thank you. Ambassador of Finland, Mr. Soili Mäkelin Buchanist. Yes, thank you. Ambassador of Finland, thank you very much. Ambassador of Latvia, Irina Mangul, thank you for coming. Deputy Head of Mission of Poland Embassy, Mr. Tomasz Kola. Thank you. Deputy Head of Mission Embassy of France, Mr. Ronan Parent. Deputy Head of Mission of Croatia, Mr. Luke Zucic. Thank you. Head of Economic Session Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands to Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, Mr. Ronald Goldberg. Thank you. We're also delighted to have in online presence His Excellency Mr. Thilo Kleiner, Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany, Mr. Aiki Moulian, Deputy Head of Mission Embassy of Spain, Ambassador of Sweden, Mr. Mats Foyer, Ambassador of Portugal, Mr. Adelino Silva. And also it is important to say that we have representatives of higher education agencies of European Union member state countries participating with speeches and presentations. So, availing of this opportunity, thank you very much again. Мы переходим к практической части мероприятия. Позвольте предоставить слово его превосходительству, министру образования и науки Казахстана Асхату Канатовичу Аймагамбетову. Вам слово, пожалуйста, господин министр.
Рахмет, құрметті әріптестер, қонақтар, форумға қатысушылар, Қазақстан және Евроодақ елдері университеттері арасындағы интернацияландыру және академиялық ынтымақтастық талқылауға арналған алғашқы форумға қош келдіңіздер дегім келеді. Бүгінгі біздің барлық қонақтарымызға, әсіресе елшілерге алғысымды білдіремін. Бүгін өте маңызды мәселелерді талқылап, өте қажетті ақпаратпен алмасамыз деп ойлаймын. Уважаемые коллеги, добрый день. Я рад приветствовать всех коллег, всех послов. Хочу сказать большое спасибо за то, что вы здесь вместе с нами. Конечно, очень важный вопрос сотрудничества в целом казахстанских университетов с европейскими университетами, обучение наших детей и студентов европейских университетов. И сейчас я буду говорить о том, что если говорить именно о программе «Балашах», то количество студентов, которые обучаются в европейских университетах, снижается. И это на самом деле нас несколько тревожит. Несмотря на это, в прошлом году, я помню, с послами из Германии, коллеги из Франции, посол тоже был, мы обсуждали вопрос именно этот и говорили о том, что почему, они спрашивали, почему по программе «Балашах» так мало университетов, которые вошли в этот список. И мы как раз говорили о том, что мы будем принимать шаги для того, чтобы расширить этот список. И вот в этом году мы можем сказать о том, что список мы расширили практически в 2 раза и увеличили до 51 вуза из 14 стран. Я считаю, что это очень важно, и мы дальше хотели бы эти вопросы обсудить. Distinguished guests, it's a huge pleasure for me to welcome you at the first Kazakhstan-European University Partnership Forum, dedicated to internationalization and academic collaboration between Kazakhstani and European Union universities. I would like to thank everyone here and their excellencies ambassadors for making time to be here today. For Kazakhstan, internationalization is significant with its importance, reflected by the increasing level of students and faculty mobility and number of international programs. I'd like to pay your attention that we are the first country in Central Asia that have signed the Bologna Declaration back in 2009, that have signed and up to now have been successful in implementation of its principles. Dear colleagues, today we are here to discuss academic cooperation between our countries that can be implemented within the Balashak International Scholarship. Over the 28 years of the program existence, more than 14,000 young people have been awarded the scholarship, with more than 11,000 alumni who have successfully graduated and are currently working in different sectors of economy. The analysis of the awards from the previous years has shown that the number of students who are interested in the European higher education has been declining. For instance, 2020-2021 academic year, only 15% are studying at European universities. Moreover, the number of Bolashak alumni from the European universities over the 27 years is also low, only about 13%. So I'm very hopeful that this event will become a starting platform for successful and effective partnership between our countries and universities. И әрине осы барлық мәселелерді біле тұрып, біз осы екі ел арасындағы ынтымақтастықты әрі қарай жалғастырып, тиісті шешімдерді қабылдап, жалпы Европа мемлекеттерінің университеттермен бірге осы жұмысты әрі қарай жалғастырамыз деп ойлаймын. У нас есть 3 страны, с кем мы имеем межправительственное соглашение по студенческому обмену. Это у нас Венгрия, Польша и Словакия. Конечно, мы приветствовали бы, если бы у нас были такие же межправительственные договора и с другими европейскими странами. И это тоже является одним из предметов, может быть, сегодняшнего обсуждения. У нас есть с Германией хорошие соглашения, хорошая программа АБАЙ Верн с Францией. И сейчас мы думаем о том, чтобы такие же программы сделать. Почему бы, например, чтобы не появилась программа АБАЙ Гёте или АБАЙ Шекспир? Очень хорошая программа, когда наши докторанты из Казахстана и магистранты имеют возможность обучаться, например, во Франции в рамках программы АБАЙ Верн. Мы оплачиваем им accommodation, стипендию на проживание, а дальше они уже, значит, само обучение, tuition fee там 0. Поэтому, соответственно, вот похожие программы мы могли бы реализовать, и я приглашаю наших коллег к этому сотрудничеству. И мы надеемся, что сотрудничество между нашими университетами и нашими странами, в частности, будет только развиваться. Барлықтарыңызға сәттілік тілеймін. Және де бүгін өте маңызды мәселелерді талқылаймыз деп ойлаймын. Thank you for your attention.
Көп рахмет, сіздің мәртебеңіз, министр мырза. Now it is my pleasure to give a word to His Excellency Ambassador at Large, Mr. Alexei Volkov, Minister. He is representing Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Құрметті министр мырза, құрметті достар, distinguished guests, Ambassador Carlson, Excellencies. We consider the European Union as a strategically important partner of Kazakhstan. Over the past 20 years old, since the establishment of our relation, we have managed to create a trustful political dialogue, fluent by mutual interest in forging strong and mutually beneficial relations. The development of decisive cooperation with the European Union, including educational cooperation, is a strategic priority of Kazakhstan's foreign policy and one of the pillars of maintaining its multi-vector nature. In this regard, a key milestone was the signing in 2050 of a new enhanced partnership and cooperation agreement between the EU and Kazakhstan, in negotiating process of which I myself took part. In the framework of the agreement, Kazakhstan and the EU are strengthening cooperation inter alia in educational programs and research activities. Various academical mobility programs are implemented as part of the cooperation. Within this activity, the Center of International Programs, Bolashak's annually award scholarship to study abroad. One of the most important study destinations are European higher educational institutions. The countries of continental Europe accounts for 6% of the total enrollment, but we think there is room for growth. The EU's flagship education and training program Erasmus Mundus that placed particularly enhancing in the free movement of students is another important tool of our cooperation. Furthermore, in 2012, Kazakhstan became a member of the European Quality Assurance Register for Foreign Education. Moreover, Kazakhstan actively participating in meetings of the working groups of the Bologna Process Secretariat. The European Education Initiative was launched within the framework of the EU Central Asia Strategy for EU Cooperation 2007, which covers 5 Central Asia states. A key element of the European Educational Initiative for Central Asia is the Central Asian Educational Platform, designed to improve regional cooperation between Central Asia countries and promote reforms in education. I would like to reiterate that research institutes and in universities of Kazakhstan are ready to participate in the European Union educational programs, which is evidenced by active participations of 2 Kazakh organizations, the Nazarbayev University and the Combustion Problems Institute in the Horizon 2020 program. This is obvious that the full potential of our educational cooperation has not been exhausted. The enhanced partnership and cooperation agreement has given many opportunities to deepen cooperation in this important area. In conclusion, I would like to confirm Kazakhstan's commitment to expanding cooperation in the field of education within the European Union, both at the official level and at the level of contact between citizens, including cultural and educational exchanges. Thank you for your attention. Назарларыңызға көп рахмет.
Көп рахмет, Ambassador at Large Alexey Volkov Mirza. Dear participants, please let me invite for a welcoming speech His Excellency Ambassador Sven Olof Carlsen. Dear Ambassador, please, the floor is yours.
So, dear Mr. Minister Aymagambetov and Deputy Minister Yergaliev, Ambassador Volkov, Mrs. Karbozova, dear colleagues and friends, let me first of all thank the Ministry and the Center for International Programs for providing this opportunity for us to meet today. And thank you, Minister, for already giving the background and behind the initiative to get together and to see what we can possibly do to, as Ambassador Volkov said, to fully grasp the potential that we have together in this strategic sphere of cooperation in higher education. Really a very clear example that where our interests really go together. So it's no coincidence that this is also takes a prominent place in the bilateral agreement that Ambassador Volkov also referred to. And this is also an opportunity, and I think quite rightly so, a first kickoff to try to explore more concrete possibilities. And therefore, of course, we are all very pleased to see so many universities represented here. We have all our member states either here or linked up online. Also colleagues from the European Commission. All this illustrates the complexity and the richness and the multidimensional nature of this fascinating area of cooperation in higher education. Let me just, I don't want to repeat what has already been said, but I think if we look a little bit at the broader picture, we have Bolashak, we have the Erasmus Plus, we have Horizon, we have a series of bilateral arrangements. Some of the agreements with some of the member states were mentioned here. But we see in general a big challenge for the whole education system in training students to become active learners and who might come back for studies at any time in their career or in their during their studies, not only for full-time degree programs, but also for timely, adapted, and specifically designed short courses. We are all fully aware of the current tasks, and that's why, in spite of the present difficulties and the ongoing pandemic, we need and we are all calling for a more coordinated and the coherent actions in the area of education, both within the European Union among our member states, but also with our partner countries in Central Asia, and obviously with a country like Kazakhstan. And one of the key elements of our approach to education is the focus on promoting knowledge and growth through the support of mobility programs for students and teachers. Since 1987, the European Union has been funding the Erasmus program, which aims to promote exchange opportunities for students and staff of higher education institutions across member states. The program immediately proved to be extremely successful. So that's the reason why already in 2010, the European Union decided to extend these opportunities also to partner countries, including Central Asia. And over the last 4 years, Kazakh universities from 14 regions have been involved in 40 higher education capacity building programs, and Kazakh students have benefited from 124 scholarships. In addition, a total of 315 mobility projects have started between the European Union and Kazakhstani higher education institutions, allowing sending over 1,500 Kazakh students and academic staff to partner universities throughout Europe. And we are very proud of these results. Yet, again, we do know that we need to achieve more, and we hope to do that together with you. The ongoing Erasmus Plus program, and I would like to say, I got to mention, of course, very pleased to see Mrs. Tasbolatova, head of the Erasmus Plus office in Kazakhstan. This is the ongoing program, which covers the period from 2021 to 2027, has an overall budget of more than 26 billion euros. And is by far the biggest increase for any program in the long-term EU budget. And we feel the responsibility, but also the great privilege to contribute to the empowerment of young people, both within our own countries and in our close partner countries, including in Central Asia. We know that investing in empowering young people means not only reducing unemployment via increased numbers of qualified employees, but more broadly, it means fostering exchange of knowledge, expertise, and experience through enhanced cooperation. And this is a key element towards a joint future, common future of prosperity and peace. In Central Asia, the European Union is currently working on the preparation of another important program on education, which is being prepared by the European Training Foundation, a separate agency within the wider EU family. The program is called DARIA, which stands for Dialogue and Action for Resourceful Youth in Central Asia, and focuses on measures that support inclusive and labor market relevant education and skills development, opportunities for young people throughout the region. We're looking forward to engaging actively also here with the ministries of education of all 5 Central Asian countries in the implementation of this program that will kick off next year. We very much, again, welcome the initiative of the Ministry of Education and Science of Kazakhstan and the Center for International Programs to attract the attention to current and to new opportunities for educational institutions to cooperate in the framework of Kazakhstan's foreign education programs, such as the Bolashak program. It's important and in the mutual interest of all of us for both the European Union and Kazakhstan to cooperate and to look for new avenues and directions of this cooperation. So once more, let me just conclude by again warmly thank the Ministry of Science, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for cooperation and support, and the Center for International Programs for organizing this event and for providing this opportunity to interact and to start and intensify our exchange of views on these important matters. So I would like to wish us all a fruitful and productive discussion, which will also bring some concrete results. Thank you so much for your attention.
Dear Ambassador, many thanks for your speech. I should note that it is a hybrid event and online. Here we have participation of several agencies and experts. And we are pleased to have Mr. Adrian Viale, representative of Directorate General for Education and Culture of the European Commission, with a speech on synergies between Bolashak and European programs. Dear Mr. Viale, the floor is yours, please. I hope you're connected and hear well.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I think I'm audible in the meeting room as well. It's a great honor for me to be here, only online, I'm afraid, to be representing the European Commission. And it's also very encouraging and excellent to see such high-level presence at your meeting from ministers, from university rectors, from ambassadors of European countries. And I think this all is a measure of the importance that you attach to education as a vehicle for partnership between European countries and Kazakhstan. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this invitation to speak to you about the synergies between the Bolashak Scholarship Program and Erasmus+. Actually, we think that they are trying to do very, very similar things. And I think these synergies and the experience of Erasmus+ in cooperation between Europe and Kazakhstan can be a very good basis for boosting the participation of European universities in the Bolashak program itself, because I think this is the one of the main objectives of today's event. To look at the synergies, though, let's go back in time a little bit to that date mentioned by Ambassador Olsen of 1987. This is the date the EU set up Erasmus as a program for student exchange between universities inside the EU. And let's think also of the time that was happening. It was a time Europe was taking lots of big steps on the way to becoming an economic and a political union. There was the big 1992 plan for a Europe without borders. For that to be a success, we needed people to reach out across these borders that had been there for centuries. We needed people to understand each other better. And this is the political side of Erasmus. Besides the academic value, it's a chance for young people to immerse themselves in another culture, increase their understanding of other countries, other ways of thinking. And these are highly valued skills that I think you are trying to encourage through Bolashak as well. And at the same time, back in the 80s, higher education was becoming much more international in its outlook. There was a lot more academic networking across borders, recruitment of international students. But again, the borders that had existed between European countries for centuries made this integration difficult. And so the response of Europe and its member states was to agree on the Bologna process, which has been mentioned in a previous speech. It's a way of getting our universities to work together more effectively. And it focused on the mechanics. What do we need to align international cooperation to make mobility real and effective? Kazakhstan is part of this Bologna process and this European higher education area. So you can see the benefits and the reason for this structural change. And mobility is a way of testing these changes and pushing it. The Erasmus Plus program has become more and more international over the years. And it now funds truly global mobility partnerships between European countries on the one hand and other countries worldwide. And we have these mobility partnerships between Kazakhstan and 29 different European countries. I think Bolishak is very similar to what Erasmus Plus is trying to do. It's trying to provide an international experience for students. But it's also trying to develop wider partnerships between Kazakhstan and the rest of the world. Europe is, I think, a very ready and willing candidate to take part in the Bolishak program. And I would propose that we can link up Bolishak with the European universities who already benefit from Erasmus Plus mobility with Kazakhstan. The Erasmus program creates strong links between the universities, the international relations offices. The Erasmus experience within Europe means that we have a sort of structure for welcoming students as well. We have, for example, European Erasmus Student Network with its buddy system. So we have a sort of established Erasmus way of welcoming students and making their stay much more effective and productive. So the student benefits, but also there are a number of other knock-on effects of mobility. The students who don't travel still benefit in a way. They mingle with the visiting students. They hear from their peers who have returned from abroad. The academics who teach the visiting students, and the departing academics, because we fund staff mobility under Erasmus Plus, also have new experiences in teaching techniques, teaching materials, different teaching outlook in the other country. So the universities themselves benefit, the international relations offices, and it's difficult to quantify, but we know there are a lot of spin-offs from these mobility partnerships in the form of academic networking, memoranda of understanding, etc. I'd say a quick word about the other parts of Erasmus Plus. It's more than just mobility. As Ambassador Olsen mentioned, we have capacity building projects, partnerships of European and Kazakh or other Central Asian universities. They often work on Bologna type issues that can enhance mobility. They can benefit the universities and they can benefit the education sector as a whole. We have joint master's programs that can involve European and non-European universities. And we have a project to promote Europe as a study destination called Study in Europe. This aims to provide a picture of opportunities in the whole of Europe for students throughout the world. We have a Study in Europe website and a portal, a social media channel, and we have higher education fairs, face-to-face and online. And we plan to organize a fair in Kazakhstan in the first half of 2022. So you'll be hearing more about that shortly. So my proposal is that we work together to raise awareness and interests among European universities in getting involved in Bolshak. We can, with your help, explain the program through our national agencies. We can invite universities who already have strong links with Kazakhstan to consider getting involved, because we have a wide range of countries already involved. So we'd like to show the entire range of European opportunities and have those represented within the Bolshak universities. So that is my proposal. I hope that we can work together in a more operational way on promoting Bolshak as an opportunity. But I'm convinced we are doing so many very similar activities in our two programs that we can exploit these synergies very successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Viale. Thank you very much for your suggestions, and I hope that Kazakhstan and European Union member states will work together. Before inviting for a speech, let me thank Ms. Shahzada Taspolatova, Head of National Erasmus Office in Kazakhstan, for co-organizing and supporting this event. And with a great pleasure, I would like to invite you for a speech. Thank you.
Құрметті Асхат Қанатұлы, Your Excellency, Ambassador Sven-Olof Carlson, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to present briefly our program, Erasmus Plus program in Kazakhstan. Can I ask? Yes, please. And given the short time slot, then I'll skip some slides. Why don't they move? Who can help me? Please.
Пожалуйста, могли бы помочь
слайды не двигаются.
Ага.
Yes, I hope that everyone in this audience is aware of the objectives. That's why I skip. These are, well, some figures. You see, practically all regions of Kazakhstan are involved in Erasmus Plus activities. And I see a very clear synergy between the Bolshak program and the Erasmus Plus activities. You see 74 universities, including CB capacity building in higher education, and international credit mobility projects are involving 74 universities and 44 non-academic organizations. During the 2015-2020, we had 61 capacity building and higher education projects for a total budget of over 52 million. This is a very generous support from the European Union, and we really appreciate it. Why is it not working? Sorry.
Құрметті әріптестер,
Следующий, пожалуйста, пролистайте.
презентация на
61 projects, these are the subject areas, you see that they cover. And the number of Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree Fellows is also increasing, and we are happy to share that as a result of the last call, 52 students, master students from Kazakhstan, are awarded grants, Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree grants. This is a very huge amount. In particular, if you see, for Central Asia, we see this amount of grants. It is good news that graduates of Kazakh universities are actively participating in the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree programs, because in the past these were primarily graduates from other countries. I mean, Kazakhstani citizens, but they used to study in UK, in other countries, and now you see the universities that the graduates are awarded these grants. For ICM, International Credit Mobility Projects, you see that we have 5,045 mobilities. This is the generous over 17 million euros, and this program involves 73 universities and number of projects is 739. This is participation, and here we see a small problem, which I can tell you later. You see incoming to program countries and outgoing from program countries. Well, you see the figures, almost 1/3 of the grants is awarded to the European university representatives. And not all of them are coming to Kazakhstan, and this is one of the challenges we're facing. For Central Asia, you see the number of mobilities is almost 9,000, and almost 1.5 thousand of projects. Our universities are very active in Jean Monnet projects as well. In capacity building, I think this, for embassies, this is an interesting slide. You see that these are the countries that are involved in joint projects with Kazakhstani universities. The most active is Germany, Italy, and you see the descending number of projects with countries. Here, this is cooperation between EU and Central Asian universities. You see, in Central Asia, again, Germany is very active, jointly with Italy. And I would like to say a few words about this. Askat Kanatullah, I would like to congratulate our ministry and our country on the excellent initiative on the Turkestan Declaration, because this is really a historical event. And during the meeting, it was mentioned that if the documents are signed, it does not mean that they automatically enter into force. Really, we do need professors from both sides that can make this bridge between our countries. So I would like to say, you see, we have 36 partners in Germany, and the number you see, and I think that this is really a good bridge that can help our countries to be, working jointly together. These are the project partners. Again, Germany is the leader, and these are EU universities as project coordinators. You know the difference. A partner and project coordinator is the university that initiated the project proposal and submitted the project proposal and is coordinating the projects. And you see again, Germany, Italy, Spain, and other countries. Certainly, these projects have made a strong impact, and they are sustainable due to the strong policy support from the ministry and from the university leadership. So I cannot, pay a lot of attention to this, but you understand interdisciplinarity, new methodologies, new professional and instrumental skills, and things like that. This is, a strong impact. They have produced certainly a strong impact. New programs have been developed. There are a lot of changes in university governance modernization. You know, Askat Kanatovich, the Trunak project, the famous one. So certainly new structures and instruments have been developed and implemented. We have a national team of higher education reform experts, and this is the team that they have certainly been active. You see, the publications. We organized jointly, you see, international conferences, TAM seminars, technical assistance mission seminars, over 30 summer and winter schools, webinars, etc., etc. So you can, and you could have one of the copies. These are the activities directly supported by IAKIA, and as Adrian mentioned, the last point, we are planning to have virtual fair for CBHE projects in October 2021, and over 10 projects from Kazakhstan were registered for this. I'll skip these slides because, I would like to say a few words on the challenges, using the opportunity of the presence of representatives of the embassies and ambassadors. One of the problems is, as I have mentioned, not all funded mobilities from EU to Kazakhstan are used. And this is one of the disappointing and discouraging points. And I think one of the reasons is that they are not well aware of the opportunities and of the strengths of Kazakhstani universities. And that's why maybe this is a challenge for our universities, that they should better promote their own universities. We've discussed in Turkestan with several rectors, and we came to the conclusion that not general promotion, but more active promotion of the strengths of each university. For example, for mining, for agriculture, for physics in the Kurchatov. So each university should promote his university strengths, and maybe then we shall be able to use all the mobilities coming from EU to Kazakhstan. The second problem is closure of borders. I know that many, and I would like to thank EU embassies, because they really are doing very good support, providing very good support to the Erasmus Plus family. And but nevertheless, there were several, remarks that we have not only long-term mobilities, but also short-term mobilities. And though, for example, some countries, some EU countries are open, they have sent their invitations, but some embassies they are not inclined to issue visas for short-term. But these are really the ambassadors of Kazakh universities. These are really the professors that are going there for teaching, and they can, again, enhance that bridge. So this is a request. If possible, please provide these, issue these visas for Erasmus Plus family, because this is really, a very, this is a pool of experts trained and ready to promote European values and European, cultures in our country. And I would like to ask Ambassador Sven-Olof Carlson, if possible, please, could you please lobby more funding for Central Asia? Because, we don't know what is the funding for the next generation, so we rely that you will not miss this opportunity, because interest is very high. Universities are very interested, but the funding is very limited. So I would like to thank you all again and wish good luck for today's meeting. Thank you.
Many thanks, dear Mr. Zadat Hasbulatova. Thank you. And now we are starting contribution part by Kazakhstani universities rectors, and also we will have a speech of President of the Center for International Programs later. So please, it is an honor to invite Darkhan Bilalov, rector of Abay Kazakh National Pedagogical University. Thank you.
Dear esteemed colleagues, it's very great to see you here today and online. I'm going to talk about three things in my very small contribution here. And I'm going to talk about three things that make not only the university that I represent, Abay Kazakh National Pedagogical University, but also other universities in Kazakhstan to be attractive to European citizens, to European individuals and organizations alike. So Abay University is the very first Kazakhstani university. Historically, it was created in 1928, so it has 93 years of history. And I'm going to talk about three things. Just a second. Can you please switch to the next slide? Thank you. So next, so three things. First of all, as our institution and other institutions in Kazakhstan, we are very dynamically developing. We're developing very dynamically with a growth mindset. Second, we provide wide and exciting research opportunities. And the third one is that we have active internationalization agenda. Next, please. So, okay, it works now. So as far as Abay University is concerned, we are 1,000 faculty strong, very research active, publishing locally and internationally. We have 13,500 students, and 53 of them, 53% of them study on merit-based scholarships. So we attract the best talent in the country. We have 7 institutes. We have about 300 programs, and we run 10 programs specifically in the English language. We also have double degree programs. It's already been said today about the importance of such programs, and our employment rates are historically very high. So we have this growth mindset, and we are a very big university. And this slide is just to show you that we are recognized internationally. For example, this year we went 50 steps up, 50 positions up in the QS World University Rankings, and we consistently receive the top places among pedagogical institutions in Kazakhstan in local ratings. So as far as research is concerned, research is of course conducted by our excellent faculty. And as you see, we have faculty with very strong backgrounds. We have a very strong scientific or research schools in our university. We do collaborative research with foreign partners and with local partners. And as you see, our research productivity is growing from year to year. So when it comes to research, and I was talking about those exciting research opportunities, and I talk as a member of a pedagogical university. So, for example, if you take pedagogical studies, right, Kazakhstan education system is developing very fast. It's modernizing very quickly. There are multiple avenues for research, including inclusive education, multilingual education, and all those different fields that are emerging in the country, and that are in dire need for research. There's also increasing participation in international comparative studies. So there's a lot of data that is ready for being analyzed. And as it was previously said by Mrs. Shaizada, we are becoming increasingly the leader in the Central Asian context in education. So as far as internationalization is concerned, a lot of universities have a lot of partnerships. Our university is not an exception. We partnered with multiple universities. We have international students, and we take it very seriously. We included internationalization in our strategy, so we are aiming at 10% of our student population by 2025 being international students. And we have created an infrastructure for international students, such as International Student Council and other things that make university attractive. So to summarize my small contribution here, there are 3 things that I believe make our university attractive to European citizens and to European organizations. And this is a dynamically developing institutions with a growth mindset. There's wide and exciting research opportunities and collaborative research opportunities. And there's also active internationalization agenda in our institutions. Thank you very much. I understand the timing is really tight, but I'm looking forward to any discussions that will follow. Thank you very much.
Көп рахмет, Дархан мырза. So it is thank you so much. It is a pleasure to introduce our partner. Actually, we had in May we had a European Union mini game with the participation of students of KazGU, Narikbayev University, KazGU. So let me please invite Mr. Talgat Narikbayev, chairman of the board. Sorry, chairman of the board of this university. Thank you.
Спасибо большое. Thank you very much. Уважаемые коллеги, позвольте кратко озвучить свои соображения по основной теме сегодняшнего мероприятия. Это интернационализация. Интернационализация, по моему мнению, может быть и благом для вузов, и рисками. Это зависит от того, как ее понимать и какие цели перед собой ставить. Если она становится самоцелью, способом достичь увеличения зарубежного компонента любой ценой, в контингенте студентов, преподавателей, погони за публикациями только за рубежом и так далее, то это огромные риски для качества национального высшего образования. Если же интернационализация понимается на всех уровнях как результат партнерства и естественного развития вузов, без гонки за рейтинговыми показателями, то она будет во благо и принесет только пользу. С точки зрения госрегулирования, Казахстан за последние 3 года в сфере высшего образования добился очень многого. Вот здесь вот у нас министр образования хотел поблагодарить за те изменения, которые были сделаны за последние 3 года. Многие принятые изменения раньше казались неподъемными, нереалистичными, но сегодня это уже реальность, академическая самостоятельность вузов, свобода в создании образовательных программ, прозрачный и честный ЕНТ, корпоративное управление вузов и другое. Более того, некоторые вузы уже давно не уступают по формату и качеству образования европейским вузам. Англоязычные программы, международные аккредитации и сертификации программ, престижное трудоустройство выпускников, материально-технические условия в кампусе. Поэтому количественная динамика показателей интернационализации не является естественным критерием качества образования. Возможно, лучше делать акцент на усилении регионального влияния и роли вузов для населения региона дислокации. Здесь я полностью поддерживаю позицию нашего министра. Второе – это программа «Болашак». Это лучший из проектов в академической сфере, который обеспечил Казахстан в сжатые сроки обученными кадрами, с передовыми взглядами и правильной системой ценностей. Отдельным эффектом также является, на мой взгляд, повышение спроса на знание иностранных языков среди молодежи. А это всегда означает более богатый кругозор и доступ к большому объему информации. Казгию является одним из крупнейших работодателей для выпускников программы «Болашак» в академической сфере. У нас работает 11 докторов PhD, получив степень в зарубежных вузах, и 4 из них – это выпускники программы «Болашак». 57 выпускников магистров лучших зарубежных вузов, и 26 из них выпускники программы «Болашак». Помимо этого, 33 преподавателя Казгию являются холдерами международных профессиональных сертификаций CFA, ACCA, ФРМ, CIPD и других. На данный момент Казахстану удалось не просто обучить за рубежом хороших специалистов, но и найти всем достойное применение. Они уже руководят другими вузами, организациями. Вот у нас здесь вице-министр образования, вот назначенный, кстати, выпускник программы «Болашак», Гарвард закончил. И мы гордимся. Вот до меня ректор Национального университета выступал. Тоже выпускник программы «Болашак». И как это он сделал, вы видите. То есть это говорит о развитии наших вузов. Наряду с этим многие вузы качественно выросли и могут предоставлять образование международного уровня. Некоторые наши партнеры из стран СНГ вынуждены признавать, что по интеграции и соответствии международным академическим стандартам некоторые казахстанские вузы и вообще наша сфера высшего образования намного ближе к Европейскому Союзу, чем вузы стран СНГ, находящиеся географически гораздо ближе к Европе, чем Казахстан. И это я подтверждаю, потому что наши партнеры из Украины недавно приезжали. Но по разговору, по тем, значит, аспектам, чего они добились, мы видим, что мы на голову выше. Данный фактор, я считаю, необходимо признавать и озвучивать, чтобы понимать, что Казахстан является уже поставщиком абитуриентов не только для иностранных государств, но также мы можем и принимать. И принимаем, кстати, уже из Центральной Азии государств, из Узбекистана, Киргизии, Таджикистана, из Малайзии, уже из дальних стран. Вот это вот Алмаю вот будет здесь тоже выступать. У них очень большое количество студентов из других стран. Поэтому я призываю, вот здесь послы сидят, чтобы, ну, как бы не только мы, как со своей стороны, да, обучая, значит, наших студентов, значит, за рубежом, в вузах Европы, но также и говорить о том, что и мы здесь, в Казахстане, можем обучать и студентов Европы. Третье. Интернационализация и партнерство с зарубежными вузами должно больше фокусироваться на двухдипломной модели подготовки. Это мое мнение. КазГИЮ в качестве одного из стратегических направлений преследует цель развития двухдипломных программ как способа уменьшить отток наших абитуриентов, предоставляя им доступ к зарубежному образованию, не утрачивая связи с Казахстаном. Дополнительным преимуществом также является то, что зарубежные вузы-партнеры обычно очень детально оценивают качество образовательных программ, репутацию вуза, прежде чем заключать договор о двухдипломной программе. Вузы в этом процессе проводят взаимный due diligence, и это только на пользу казахстанским вузам, которые повышают уровень своих стандартов. Спасибо вам большое за внимание.
Көп рахмет. Thanks a lot for your speech and suggestions. Let me invite Ms. Жанар Темирбекова, ректор Ходжа Ахмед Яссауи International Kazakh-Turkish University. And dear participants, due to a limited time frame, we all should keep this 3 minutes advice time limit. Thank you.
Okay. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to participate at today's event and share the experience of Hoca Ahmed Yesevi International Kazakh-Turkish University in the area of higher educational internationalizations and academic cooperations. So since 1992, okay, probably I have the same problem.
Можете, пожалуйста, переключать, помогай, да?
Yes, thank you for your assistance. And since 1992, our university has been in the forefront of the most important joint projects of Kazakhstan and Turkey. Although our university was initially established in a less developed region, Turkestan city, it has become one of the well-known universities in Turkic-speaking world. And as you may know, this year in the Turkic Council information meetings, Turkestan was named as the spiritual capital of the Turkic world after 3 years of transformations into the center of South Kazakhstan regions. And nowadays, thousands of tourists are daily visiting the oldest city on the Silk Road, with Turkestan calling now Venice of Central Asia. So there is no doubt that the popularity of our university will also rise. Could you please the next slide? And today, with more than 10,000 students, it is the 4th largest university in our country, and our university ranks first in Kazakhstan with more than 1,373 international students, which coming study from 20 countries, and it constitutes already 14% of the total number of students. And thus it makes a great contribution to the internalizations efforts of our country educations. So next year we will celebrate the 30th anniversary of our university, which has an international status. And our university, which is in the same age of our independence, has promoted itself in education, cultures, social and economic spheres in these 30 years, and has accomplished significant achievements in various scientific fields. On the behalf of our university, we are honored to cooperate with our European colleagues. First of all, I would like to know that our university can realize as a stakeholder in cooperations with European higher educational institutions. So we can assist our current and future international academic partners with our scientific infrastructures and research facilities in all disciplines addressed in the agreement of partnership and cooperations between Republic of Kazakhstan and the European Union, and the enhanced partnerships and cooperation agreement. in the previous speakers, Mrs. Shaiza Dataspolatova, they paying attention about how can we be attractive for the EU European Union universities and students, and we also looking to for the answers for these important questions. So Central Asian experts of our university working both in Turkey and Kazakhstan can offer their scientific expertise that may help to our European colleagues in their cooperations with Kazakhstan and Central Asian countries. Because our university, which closely follows the political, economical, cultural, and social developments in Kazakhstan and Central Asian countries, has trained many experts all of these issues. Bilik Journal, which is managed by the Board of Trustees of our university, is one of the most important scientific journals in the world in the field of Central Asian studies, and also indexed by Thomson and Races and accepted by Social Science Citation Index. Additionally, our Eurasian Research Institute, located in Almaty, is one of the leading think tanks of Eurasian studies in Kazakhstan and is in the top of hundreds in the world rankings. So we are happy to also share our expanding the perspective of Eurasian study by carrying out joint projects. And secondly, Kazakhstan is not only a leading economy among Central Asian studies. You know that social and cultural development in the country demonstrate that Kazakhstan is looking forward to integrating with the best, and especially in recent years, vital values of democracy, such as human rights, freedom of expressions, and other fundamental freedoms have come to the fore, and much development has been made in these directions. So as a research-oriented institutions, our university wants to be the partner in research such directions. And sorry, just want to mention that we want collaborate and we'll be happy in cooperation in the following topics, and because we believe that the topics is also common and for our European colleagues, and especially when we are formulating these academic mobilities, we always should remind about how can our university be attractive for the European students. And I think that these topics may be interesting, especially for example, internship for students of education departments in partner schools like Nazarbayev Intellectual Schools. You know, in Shymkent we have 2, and in Turkestan is just constructions of one is going to finish. So we believe that this area can be attractive for our Hayes and colleagues from the European. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to discuss these proposals and your ideas for cooperation.
Dear Ms. Жанар Темирбекова, many thanks for your speech and presentation. Министр мырза, ең алдымен сізге осы уақытыңызды бөліп келгеніңізге шараға көп рахметімізді, құрметімізді білдіреміз. Dear ladies and gentlemen, participants, Your Excellency, I would like to say that just we're all expressing our thanks to Minister because of other obligations and important meetings. Minister is leaving us. So many thanks again, and of course we will continue our event. Many thanks again. And let me invite to the floor Vice Minister Quvonch Yergaliyev. Thank you very much for joining us in a panel. Thanks. So For the next speech, let me please invite Mr. Yerbol Süleymanov, Rector of Almaty Management University. Many thanks for coming to Astana. And I again should just note about 3 minutes time limit. Рахмет.
Assalamualaikum, құрметті мәртебелі қонақтар, құрметті әріптестер, dear distinguished guests, dear excellencies, colleagues. It's my pleasure and honor to be here with you and deliver the thoughts and views that on this important subject on partnership between the EU and Kazakhstan. I'm delighted that and have strong feeling of a momentum for further development of our collaboration. Just yesterday, I was participating in the World Bank Forum on regional cooperation in higher education, between higher education institutions. And I would like to share with you our experience and Almaty Management University case, how we build partnership and perhaps present the new format of partnership. Yes, on this slide, you can see the forms and mechanisms how usually in standard way universities collaborate with each other. But what we are proposing is the new format, which is brand new. And this year, we signed a strategic partnership with Arizona State University, which is totally different, totally new way how we partner with foreign universities. And I would like to propose to use perhaps a similar way of partnering with European Union universities. It's not about the exchanging students, exchanging faculty members, having double degree programs, but it's more kind of close tie relationship between universities. For example, you can see on the slide that representatives from Arizona State University participating in our management issues, like there is a representative on the board of trustees of our university. There is a representative from Arizona State University in the top management of the Almaty Management University. And they are participating in every aspect of management of university, including the marketing issues, budgeting, planning, strategic planning, and even hiring and firing people. So it's not only the academic, but the managerial thing, because to my mind, I think we should be talking not only about the academic excellence, but also the effective management or responsible management in higher education. These are the international projects, and as an example, we are inviting our European Union colleagues and partners to participate in the projects that we already are engaged in. And perhaps it would be interesting for our European colleagues to see that there are a lot of opportunities to come to Kazakhstan. It's, for example, we are planning to open new campuses of our university within the country. And even we are planning to open new university in neighboring country, in particular in Uzbekistan. So I think for European partners, it would be interesting to be engaged in that kind of projects in Kazakhstan and in the region. And we are more than glad and more than happy to be your partners in the region. Yes, and thanks to Mrs. Shahzada Taspulatova, we have a lot of partners and a lot of partner agreements, partnering projects with European Union colleagues and partners. And as a matter of fact, we have actually very new, very fresh achievement that our university has got. It is 22nd in the 22nd rank in a global ranking of QS on joint executive MBA programs. Our flagship, our signature course, our signature program, MBA program, executive MBA program, has ranked 22nd in the world. I think this is the most, how to say, higher position of programs, such programs in the region and even in the whole CIS. This joint executive MBA program is delivered jointly by St. Petersburg School. So this is the one of the achievements. And regarding the Bolashak, I think Bolashak has been instrumental in capacity building in higher education in Kazakhstan. And these are the results. And we, as Almaty Management University, one of the results or achievements of Bolashak program, and you can see in 2013, 2014, a group of top managers from our university have studied at the United States at Berkeley University and Singapore University. And this year also, two of our top managers went to the United States for the internship. And I think probably this time we should be thinking about not only using or engaging through Bolashak program only for higher education, but probably it should be done for the research too. I know that this year Bolashak announced 500 people sending for internship on research issues, but I think we should be also thinking of, it's already has been said here that we should be inviting more students from abroad coming to Kazakhstan. It's not only one way when our students go abroad, but it should be foreign students coming to Kazakhstan. And I think this is there is a high potential for doing so. Yes, and you can see on the slide, I would not read all of them, but I think these are the potential projects where we can invite our European partners, European companies and universities to participate and to engage with us in those projects. And I think it would be good if we will be doing joint programs and joint universities perhaps in this region, including Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and this valuable presentation. And I would like to Ms. Aynur Karbozova, President of the Center for International Programs. First of all, thank you very much for hosting this event. Thank you for your initiatives. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, Your Excellency Vice Minister, Your Excellency Ambassador Carlson, dear honored guests. We are very much honored today to host you at the Center for International Programs under the Ministry of Education and Science. We are a sole administrator of the Bolashak Presidential Scholarship Program. And the title of my presentation, can I have the title of the presentation, please? Yes, says it all. It's very loud, but still very much important. Opportunities not to miss. And I have actually only 3 key messages to put forward, which I will proceed with them a bit later. But first of all, some of the important key messages already been taken from the minister, but I will do a bit detailed elaboration of those messages covered by Minister today as well. So opportunities not to miss, at least within Bolashak and the intergovernmental scholarships. The Center for International Programs is an official operator on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Science. Please, next slide. So before proceeding to 3 of my important messages already also covered by the Minister, I would like to bring one more again, though I would repeat, but just I think it's important to repeat key figures. So the key figure number 1 within Bolashak is 14,156, the total number of the Bolashak presidential scholarship holders, including myself and many of my colleagues from the Center for International Programs who have used this unique opportunity to study abroad for the most demanded majors on our labor market. And the key figure number 2 is 11,000 261. That is the total number of Bolashak graduates. And the most important figure here is 1,101, which is total number of Bolashak graduates from the European universities within the Bolashak Presidential Scholarship. So as you see, the share of the European Union universities is around 10%. And the last key figure, which is a bit disappointing given two-way potential, Ambassador Carlson, which we already elaborated actively today, is 69, which is the number of current Bolashak students studying in the European Union countries, universities. And as here you can see, this is the list of number of European countries headed by the Germany, France, followed by France, Netherlands, Czech, and Czech Republic and Poland, where 1,101 Bolashak graduates studied within the scholarship program. You know that Bolashak Presidential Scholarship has been launched in very early years of our country's independence by the first president, Yelbasi Nursultan Nazarbayev, aiming at sending the most gifted young people to the leading world universities on the highly demanded majors on our labor market. And actually, in 28 of years of its history, it doesn't need any kind of a proof for its efficiency, because it's a huge success and it's the best nationwide educational project launched by the first president, and it's the best human capital development project of the independent Kazakhstan, as 11,000 graduates, including myself, our moderator, and my colleagues from the Center for International Programs, and actually two of the speakers today who are graduates of the Bolashak Presidential Scholarship are massively contributing to the key sectors of economic development of our country. So Kazakhstan, the Bolashak is not only efficient program recognized in Kazakhstan, but it has been recognized internationally as well. So DADE and British Council did recognize Bolashak as the best presidential scholarship program based on three major components. First one is countrywide access. The second one is targeted preparation. And the third one is, most importantly, aftercare of the graduates with full employment upon their return back to home country. Bolashak internationally also is a benchmark for many of the scholarship programs, including Russia's Global Education, Tatarstan's Presidential Scholarship Program, Algarish, Finland, China, Ukraine, and many other countries are researching Bolashak as the best practice for international scholarship program. Second slide, please. And given the stressed upon today, specifically by the minister, the European Union universities being well positioned at the Bolashak listed universities 2021-2023 with 51 universities from 14 European Union countries. I think the sky is the limit, and the message one is to grasp this opportunity, and the Center for International Programs, together with the Ministry of Education and Science, is very much keen to revive the potential and to actively elaborate the prospective partnership within the Bolashak Presidential Scholarship with these 51 universities. Next slide, please. I would like to briefly tell you about what is Bolashak today. Since 2020, the special task force was established by the Minister of Education and Science, Ashat Aymagambetov, for the regulatory improvements aiming at making Bolashak even more open and transparent and closer to the international scholarship standards. So as you see, the major requirements for Bolashak applicant is just to hold an unconditional offer from the Bolashak listed university on the priority major listed at the Bolashak list, and to have a state language proficiency certificate CAS test B1 level. So admissions and the selection process is fully automated since 2020. It's all online, so you have to only download your documents through electronic government portal, and just 2 of the 3 selection stages, you have it on your personal computer sitting at your household online. So it's online complex testing, it's online interview with the Independent Experts Commission, and the final decision on awarding of the scholarship is made by the Republican Commission, consisted of the government members, chaired by the Secretary of the State. 3 key changes in terms of making the selection process open and transparent. First of all, each of the applicant encrypted. They don't have names and personal details. That is for human factor risks decreasing. Secondly, everything, the admissions and complex testing and the interview is fully audio and video fixed. And there is also anti-cheating program accompanying complex testing to provide high standards and security issues. So as you see, Bolashak is open and transparent. The requirements simplified as much as possible. And most important change for 2021 within Bolashak is the new category of the internship program, which is scientists category. And I would like to draw attention, taking this opportunity of the European Union universities listed in the Bolashak universities list to help us to assist in organizing internships for Kazakhstan universities and national institution scientists within this internship category, so to use the potential. So please, let's not mutually use this miss this opportunity, and let's exploit opportunities within scientific internships within the Bolashak Presidential Scholarship. And next slide, please. My last message, it also reflects Minister's message about the intergovernmental scholarships. He also listed 3 of the European Union countries which have signed with Ministry of Education and Science intergovernmental scholarship agreements, and Poland, Hungary, Slovakia are well positioned. So we do welcome European Union countries to sign similar intergovernmental scholarship programs to widen and enhance partnership in education and science. And my last message is about our engagement with the internationalization. Next slide, please. Center for International Programs acts also as an operator on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Science in partnering Kazakhstan universities with foreign partners. So we are here for Kazakhstan universities and European partners to assist in building academic and research collaboration. We are here also to offer our Go Nomads platform, which is specially worked out to attract foreign volunteers to Kazakhstan. So we would like to elaborate more in details as a follow-up of this event with European Union universities, how European academic volunteers can exploit opportunities to teach in Kazakhstan via Go Nomads platform, which is our brand for Center for International Programs. We would also like, with ongoing pandemic, to see what opportunities we can grasp with education fairs to spread the word about both Bolashak and other educational opportunities with the European Union universities. And in our handouts today, we put a brand book of higher education of Kazakhstan. We prepared for Ministry of Education and Science last year. So hopefully these 3 areas after today, if it works and there are, Your Excellency Ambassador, some of the tangible results after the mutual exchange with key messages today, I think this meeting should not be left as the meeting for the sake of the meeting, but some of the tangible results should come, and we should really start enhancing and grasping opportunities which we are already meeting. Thank you very much. And again, thank you very much for being here today. And it's an honor for us to host European Union ambassadors. I would also like to taking this opportunity to thank Kazakhstan universities rectors, which are now online. More than 100 universities are listening to us online, and on behalf of the Minister of Education and Science, Ashat Khanatullah, I would like to thank our colleagues and rectors from Kazakhstan universities to taking part today at this event on online format. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, dear Ainur Bagdatovna. We value your time and valuable thoughts and your suggestions. I should also note that I have a message here that we have more than 200 online connected listeners and more than 100 universities connected from both Kazakhstani and European sides. So it's like more than 200 people online, and here we have about 30 participants. So we hope that this event will make an positive impact for future Kazakhstan and European Union cooperation in education. And now we come to questions and answers session. Actually, it's more reflection on the speeches of Ainur Bagdatovna Karbozova and other officials, and the presentation of Shahzada Tezbolatova. So let me please welcome with remarks EU member state embassies. Let me welcome His Excellency Mr. Alexis de Crabug, Deputy Nandale. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I ask slides, please? Okay, thank you. I'm very happy, really, that Mrs. Ainur Karbozova talked before me, because she gives me a fantastic opportunity to just mention that I saw no Belgian, no Kazakh student benefiting up to now from Bolashak programs, but I see that 4 Belgian universities have been selected for next years, and this is really very positive. And the second positive thing I want to emphasize, if the number of students have been declining in Europe, in Belgium they have been increasing tenfold in the past years, and that's thanks to also Kazakh ambassadors in Belgium. And I'm very happy and proud that we went from 20 to 200 students this year. So this is really positive news, and most of the students are not benefiting from scholarships or from whatever programs. So I'm really looking forward to future developments in Erasmus and in Bolashak. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. So Belgium is a small country in the middle of Western Europe, and we used to be the battlefield of Europe until the World War II. And since World War II, thanks to the EU, we are benefiting, being the crossroads of Europe, and benefiting a lot from European integration. Next slide, please. So we are only 2 hours from London, 1.5 hours from Paris, 2 hours from Frankfurt, from Amsterdam. So headquarters of the European institution, which is really a big chance that we have, and of NATO. We have world-class education with 4 universities which were mentioned as potential Bolashak beneficiaries. According to Reuters, we have also the most innovative universities after the United States. I mean, University of Leuven is number 7, just after US universities. A variety of specializations, and reasonably priced. The price for studying in Belgium, so the cost is between 8,000 and 12,000 euro, like in other countries, but the cost for people attending university in Belgium, in French-speaking Belgium, it's 4,000 euro, and in Dutch-speaking Belgium, it varies from 2,000 to 6,000 for law or economic education to health education, which is more expensive. Next slide, please. So this is a map. It's not a beautiful one, but at least it shows most places where our universities are located. We have two parts of the country. One is Dutch-speaking, other French-speaking. Everyone speaks English normally in Belgium. Leuven and Louvain-la-Neuve have been are there in the middle. But I mean, all the cities which you see host important universities, and we also have other educational institutions in other places. Next slide, please. Usually, the academic year ends in June and starts in September. We have bachelor programs, 3 years, and master's programs, 1 or 2 years. Exams are usually twice per year, and then student life is quite active. Next slide, because we are short in time, I think. Regarding visa for Belgium, if you go to Belgium, you need a visa. I'm sorry for that, but you need to go through Moscow embassy for visas. It has not prevented the number of Kazakh students to increase in recent years, as I told you. But we, as embassy here in Nur-Sultan, are helping with 2 important steps, which is the interview of the student and the financial assessment of the guarantees, which I'll dwell upon maybe later on. Next slide. So people studying in Belgium should start on time because visa centers are busy, especially in the summer. Read instructions carefully on the websites. Get in touch with your university where you go because they will help you. They have experience. And once in Belgium, please register with Kazakh Embassy. Last slide, please. So these websites are very useful tools to get acquainted with everything because these websites give access to other websites. You have studied in Belgium for the French-speaking universities and studied in Flanders for Dutch-speaking universities. Just to mention, with regard to the prices that we pay more than we receive for students who come to Belgium, but it's a worthwhile investment. And I'm really happy about what Bolashak told me or told us about the potential for Belgian universities. Next speaker, please.
Thank you very much, dear Ambassador, for this inspiring speech. Hope next year we will have more students in Belgium who receive this scholarship, and they will the figures will rise every year, like more and more. So let me please connect online and invite to our floor Ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Thilo Kleiner, Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany. Please,
yes,
dear
hello,
Ambassador.
do we hear me?
Yes, we are here and we're listening to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Dear Vice Minister, dear Ambassador Volkov, dear Ambassador Carlson, dear Mrs. Karbozova, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for organizing today's important event and giving me the opportunity to speak to you. Germany is among the EU destinations, a popular destination among Kazakhstani students. Each year we welcome hundreds of students from Kazakhstan who choose Germany as a destination to study, some of them with Bolashak scholarships, others with scholarships from the German Academic Exchange Service, and other people who are coming on their own. Most of those Germany alumni remain close to Germany even after they have returned home. Whenever I meet one of them, I'm amazed at how much their experience in Germany, even many years ago, is still close to their hearts. And we also do have people who have very responsible posts now in Kazakhstan who count among the Bolashak and also the other Germany alumni. I would argue those very human connections are one of the pillars of our bilateral relationship. Today, we have, it has been already mentioned, because it is important, also more than 70 partnerships between German and Kazakhstani universities. Especially the Kazakh-German University in Almaty maintains an extensive network of partner universities and companies in Germany. It stands for scientific and academic excellence in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. Furthermore, the DAAD, the German Academic Exchange Service with its office in Almaty, contributes greatly to our academic partnership. Two representatives of the DAAD are also online, by the way, among us, Dr. Schnieders and Mr. Minkowski. They will address you later today and briefly talk about their work and also the questions how we could further improve our cooperation. All of those links we have contributed greatly to a development of intercultural competence and mutual understanding between our two countries. It is our mutual interest to foster those ties and facilitate academic exchange even further, also by encouraging more German students to come to Kazakhstan. This would be also very important. We're working on it. Ladies and gentlemen, our academic relations nowadays, however, reach beyond this bilateral aspect. We have heard today, and it's very important, about Erasmus+, which actually helps us a lot and which also contributes to even closer contacts between our both our countries. Today's event is also a reflection of the attractiveness of the model of studying in Europe. I strongly believe that it is in our interest to exploit energies that derive from that. But, and that's a monitum at the end, we always should think about what can be improved on the European and on the Kazakh side. The choice of candidates, the way how the people, how the young students are received, everything which would support them in being successful has to be closely looked at. In order, and that should be our objective, to place European universities on an equal footing with the UK and US destinations. There we have seen the statistics. We are still not yet there, but we are working on it. And so I wish today's discussions also insights in what we can do next. Thank you very much for your attention.
Many thanks, dear Ambassador. Mr. Tilo Klinner. Now it is my honor to invite Her Excellency Ms. Soili Mäkeläinen, Bukinist, Embassy of Finland. I hope that, yes, please. Thank you.
Vice Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Finland would also like to see further academic collaboration between Kazakhstani and EU universities, including Finnish institutions. The number of Kazakhstani students in Finland has been increasing steadily over the years. Many Kazakhstani students have been particularly interested in our universities of applied sciences and degrees such as bioeconomy, IT, and game design, also industrial management, energy technology, and so forth. The strength in our universities of applied sciences lies in the high-quality technical education, learner-centered pedagogy, and practical training they provide, as well as the tight collaboration they have with businesses. This guarantees that the graduates of these programs become experts in their fields with skills that are transferable to the needs of industries and labor markets. As a matter of fact, Finland is Europe's #1 place for international students according to student satisfaction surveys. Unfortunately, the collaboration between Bolashak and Finnish universities of applied sciences has been somewhat limited. This is because universities of applied sciences are not internationally ranked in the same way as traditional academic universities, and as such have not been included in Bolashak's list of suitable partners. This is a pity, as the programs provided by universities of applied sciences are highly competitive and provides students with skills that are very much needed in Kazakhstan. Fortunately, some collaboration between these universities and Bolashak has been possible for Kazakhstani experts on research and teachers' internships. For instance, JAMK, University of Applied Sciences, whose representative will speak later on, has received some researchers through Bolashak. We hope that this kind of cooperation can also be deepened in the future. Thank you.
Many thanks, dear Ambassador. Yes, sure, please, if you would like to.
Madam Ambassador, you've just clearly pointed out that it is unfortunate that the Finnish Applied Sciences Institute is no longer included to Bolashak list, but I stressed upon the internships within Bolashak program as a training or fellow visitor program for both industrial internship or scientific internship. For this program of training within the Bolashak program, for the university or host let's say, scientific institution organization, it does not need to be included to Bolashak approved universities list. So the internship is a bit different and flexible in terms of requirements, and I'm ready to elaborate more details as a follow-up to just explain you the details.
Thank you very much, dear Ainur Bagdatovna. Now, can we connect online, please? Can we see if Embassy of Bulgaria connected to this event or not? Could you please advise if you could check? If not, then may I please introduce Mr. Tomasz Kolat, временно поверенный в делах, chargé d'affaires, Embassy of Poland. The floor is yours, please.
So, Your Excellencies and dear participants, I'm glad to emphasize that Poland is one of the three European countries which has bilateral agreements in the field of education and science, section of candidates under which is carried out by the Center for International Programs annually. Indeed, Poland has been actively engaged in establishing and maintaining active dialogue with youth in Central Asia through multiple EU academic exchange programs, as well as programs focused on reforms and modernization of higher education system. Moreover, Poland consistently maintain and develop bilateral and multilateral cooperation in the region, mostly in the field of education. Probably the most important initiative was the Central Asia educational platform conducted by Poland and Latvia. Platform was a key pillar of European education initiatives for Central Asia, which aims to contribute and to adapt of education system of Central Asian states to the needs of globalized world. To stress out, Polish universities were very active in all EU educational initiatives. I'm well aware about that because I started my career as coordinator of one of the Erasmus Mundus projects. just after I finished my exchange semester at Uzbekistan under EU External Cooperation Windows program. It is crucial that exchange should be in both sides, in both ways, from EU to Kazakhstan as well, as it is to be brain gain, not brain drain. And I'm very glad to inform Mr. Minister and all of you that even in this changing year, 14 students from Poland choose Kazakhstan to study, and it's only under the governmental bilateral agreement. As Poland was also one of the leaders according to the statistics in Erasmus Mundus projects in Central Asia, as well as Tempus projects. I'm really happy that even now, under Erasmus Plus projects, Poland is also very active. Poland is also one of the leaders according to the number of Kazakh students studying at universities. It's more than 1,380 Kazakh students in last, let's say, COVID year in Poland. I'm looking forward to see the new EU education platform initiatives, and I hope that Poland will be again the leader of this initiative. I hope that this meeting with participation of our Polish National Agency of Academic Exchange will contribute to strengthening of cooperation in the field of higher education and to the return of the best ranked Polish universities to the Bołaszak lists, as we have already 54 alumni of your program. So thank you very much.
Many thanks, Mr. Tomasz Kolat. Let me please give word to Deputy Head of Mission, Embassy of France, Mr. Ronan Parent, please.
Thank you very much. Monsieur le vice-ministre, Monsieur l'ambassadeur, mesdames les ambassadrices, chers collègues, don't worry, I'll continue in English. Just a few words because I understand we have a limited time slot. I noted that as of yet, we had a few Kazakhstani students who have used the Bołaszak program for studying in France since the beginning of the program in 1993. I noted the number of 186. There is certainly a room for growth and improvement, especially considering the fact that the European Union as a whole, and France in particular, are major economic partners of Kazakhstan. The quality of our political and economic relations, that quality is not reflected in the number of Kazakhstani students using a Bołaszak program to study in the EU in France. Let me stress a few points. We have, if I have to talk about French universities, in France there are more than 3,500 public and private institutes of higher education, universities, grandes écoles, which means great schools, and schools of art or architecture. There is a wide choice for foreign students who want to study in France. Choosing to study in France means gaining access to high-quality programs designed for a wide range of student interests. Tuition fees are reasonable in public higher education institutions because the French government subsidizes higher education. The true cost of education is the same as everywhere else around the world, but the difference is that in France, the government assumes a fair share of that cost. Just a few more facts. During the last few years, French universities have been merging together in order to create large and very competitive entities. France is among the top 5 hosts of international students and the leading French-speaking host. 42% of the doctoral candidates in France are international students. France is the world's 5th most widely spoken, French is the world's 5th most widely spoken language with a few hundred million speakers. It is the most studied language in the world after English. We even have a label, Bienvenue en France, which recognizes educational institutions that provide high quality support services for international students. So beyond these facts, the list of French universities eligible for having Bolashak students comprises 5, if I'm not mistaken, higher education institutes, if I'm not mistaken, the Université Grenoble, Sorbonne, Saclay, which is a big center in the southern suburbs of Paris. We are interested in enlarging that list. The embassy is ready to organize online meetings with the French university presidents in order to further our cooperation with representatives of the Bolashak program. But of course, there is not only the Bolashak program, there are other scholarships offered to Kazakhstani students, such as the Abayven, which the Minister of Education underlined. So if I could really summarize, France and EU are very attractive from an educational point of view. There is room for growth in our cooperation in this area, especially within the framework of the Bolashak program. Thank you very much for your attention.
Many thanks. Before going online with educational agencies and Deputy Head of Mission Embassy of Spain, can we finish with the offline participants and then we will go online. So Mr. Ronald Goldberg, Head of Economic Session, Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands to Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to save some time for the organization. That would be nice to know. I'm very pleased to note that Bolashak is working very well, and also that the Netherlands is the 3rd destination of the Bolashak students. So I'm not going to use this opportunity to promote the Netherlands, as they already know how to find it. I just want to draw your attention, as there's also many university participants online, that we have an institute in the Netherlands for inter-university cooperation. It's called NUFIC, the Netherlands University Foundation for International Cooperation. They have a website, nufic.nl. NL stands for the Netherlands. And I suggest you write it down, nufic.nl, and have a look there at all the possibilities. And that will save some time here. Instead of me promoting that website, just go there and have a look. So nufic.nl. And I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate the European Union with the successful Erasmus program. And I think it's a great success. And I'm also very pleased to know that it's called after a Dutch philosopher, Erasmus. So I'm just very happy. So I would stop here and wish you good luck for the future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Dear Mr. Ronald Goldberg, many thanks for your speech. And now, would you please switch on the to our screens online participants? And it is a pleasure for me to introduce Mr. Aiki Moulian, Deputy Head of Mission, Embassy of Spain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. As has been shown before, Spain is very active in the field of education, cooperation through the EU and its programs. A number of Spanish and Kazakh universities have as well bilateral agreements, thanks to which Kazakh students come to Spain every year. In this regard, there is a Spanish service to help our universities to develop relations with foreign counterparts that is particularly active and is always willing to provide help. In 2019, our embassy issued 537 long-term study visas to Kazakh citizens. Unfortunately, last year, 2020, this figure dropped to 283, but hopefully this will improve in the near future. From our part, as an embassy, we have been trying to do our best to help Kazakh students to be granted visas in order to pursue their studies in Spain despite the pandemic. There's a small remark that I would like to make. As has been stated, we have noticed that so far Bolashak has focused on certain countries, and I should say even on certain universities. We would like to encourage Kazakh public institutions to broaden that scope. In Spain, we do have study programs not just in Spanish, but also in English language, which should make things easier. I would like to point out as a very brief example that Spain hosts some of the top business schools in Europe and in the world, according to international rankings. And we also have some leading faculties in various fields. And perhaps it is noteworthy to mention that there is currently a relevant number of Spanish professors at Kazakh universities, mostly in Nazarbayev University, which shows the quality of our academics and universities. I would like to end by emphasizing that studying in a Spanish university or business school, whether you pursue your studies in Spanish or English, means not getting closer just to Spanish language and means to get closer to Spanish language and culture, which has a much broader geographical or market scope than Spain itself, but means a gate to a much larger region such as Latin America. As you may know, in terms of native speakers, Spanish is the second largest language in the world, with about 550 million people that have Spanish as their mother tongue, not to mention all those people who speak Spanish as a foreign language. This shows the potential of mastering Spanish and or studying in a higher education institution. So I would like to encourage our Kazakh counterparts to bear this in mind for the future. Thank you.
Many thanks. Can we go switch back to in-person offline event? We have here Ambassador of Latvia, Irina Mangule. Would you like to note or no? Okay, just. Many thanks. Thank you. Now let's go back to offline and to present study in Belgium, study opportunities and visa procedures. Please, again, Ambassador Alexei de Crombo de Pikendale, please.
Sorry for abusing of this privilege to talk second time. But now I am really speaking on behalf of Belgian educational institutions because they were not available, and there are several of them because we have 2 language communities or 3 language communities in Belgium. So next slide, please. So you have got the websites which I sent already in my first presentation. There are 2 systems, main systems, the Flemish or Dutch-speaking one and the French one. I'll rapidly pass through the main universities, Ghent, Hasselt, Leuven, Antwerp, Brussels. I mean, the University of Leuven and Ghent also have important business schools which are very highly valued. And also, I would like to mention these famous universities of applied sciences, which my Finnish colleague mentioned, because some of them have been mentioned by the colleague from Alma U, and that's very interesting. I mean, there is a cooperation, it seems, with Karel de Groote and with another institution in French-speaking Belgium, which I will dwell upon later. So that's very interesting. I also put in bold a few institutions will participate today to the meeting. So both Ghent, Leuven are being represented, Brussels as well. And then the Artevelde University of Applied Sciences, Hoest University of Applied Sciences. Artevelde is located in Ghent. Hoest is in Kortrijk in the south of Bruges, western Flanders. And Thomas More in Giel. Artevelde is specialized in communication and health. Hoest in sustainable energy. I mean, MA specialized MA in sustainable energy, and Thomas More offers programs in health, tourism, media. I want to emphasize that indeed the universities of applied sciences, as my Finnish colleague said, are very important producers of very high quality graduates. Like, for instance, industrial engineers. I know from a Belgian industrial engineer who has been working here with TCO, Tengris Chevron Oil, in Atiro. I mean, these are very highly functions which Kazakh students could also follow and make profit of. Next slide, please. So the next slide is the French-speaking universities in Belgium. It's a bit a reflection of the Flemish one. The University of Louvain, which is the French-speaking part of Louvain University, which got its own life in Louvain-la-Neuve. The Free University of Brussels, French-speaking part. Liège University, Mons, Namur. And then the university faculties of Saint-Louis, who also, I mean, used to offer bachelor programs and now also offer masters. And then also here, 19 university colleges, one which I may mention is Leonardo da Vinci, because the Alma U rector also mentioned cooperation with that University of Applied Sciences. So indeed, I repeat, these are also very interesting places to go. And I would like also to respond to the appeal of Kazakh universities to send European students. I transmitted such an appeal in the past as well, including from Almaty universities. And there was an interest from the political authorities in Belgium. The Flemish Minister of Education answered personally to me to say that she was very interested in that. So I can just only indeed encourage in the future that all students come here. I know that sometimes there is a financial threshold, and maybe indeed support programs might be helpful for that. I think going to Nazarbayev University, for instance, for a foreign student is quite expensive. So this is something to think about, and we can still think and dwell upon that issue. But indeed, European students visiting here is a very good idea. Next slide, please. Just to dwell on the credit system, ECTS stands for European Credit Transfer and Accumulation System. And I think it's good to explain that. Every credit represents 25 to 30 hours, and a normal yearly credit is 60 ECTS. It's important to know because this is a Bologna system, and which makes also our European universities be able to have exchanges of students. We also have our internal Erasmus, but maybe also with Kazakhstan it's important to know. So you have bachelor degrees, master degrees, and then bridge programs also between professional BAs, and professional BAs are very important because, I mean, Kazakhstan also lacks technical people, industrial engineers. So this is really something important to look upon. And then the areas in which we provide education in Belgium is universal, I mean, health, engineering, science, economy, law, social sciences, and then also PhDs. Half of the foreign students or foreign researchers in Leuven are doing PhDs. So it's also an important avenue. Next slide, please. So just to explain about Belgium, most study programs have 2 semesters, examinations January and June, and mid-year break around January, February, and then retake examinations August or September. And then cost of living is important, average of 900 euro per month. And just, I want to add here that when students apply for Belgium, and this is without considering Bolashak, Erasmus and other programs, we look at proof of solvency of the guarantor, either students themselves or their parents or whoever. So we look at 670 euro per month per student. So the income has to be 1,330 euro plus 670 euro per student, and plus 150 euro when there are other dependents of that person. So the average is 2,000 euro that we consider for someone who has to pay himself for the studies, not considering future benefits of Bolashak, which I hope we will also enjoy as from now. Alternative is also to have a block account for 1 year of study with the university concerned, and that's also an alternative. Last slide, please. We are living in a period of pandemic, so it's important to look at that as well. So university will go back to code green in 2021-22. Regarding vaccinations, all Belgians above 18 years will be vaccinated this summer. We are the champions in continental Europe now. We have 70% vaccination level in Belgium. And we come from very far because we were one of the worst students, if I may say so, to start with the pandemic. But so now we are among the best in vaccination. The recommendation to be vaccinated before, I would have a pinch of salt with that. I would advise people to have a PCR test quite simply and look indeed for possible vaccination in Belgium when they arrive. And then more information on COVID data you can find on this website, Scienzano. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, dear Ambassador. Now let's go online. Mr. Heikki Pusa, consortium of JAMK, KFEIG, Universities of Applied Science, Finland.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Minister, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity to present our consortium and Finnish Universities of Applied Sciences, namely YAMK and YAHAMK Universities of Applied Sciences in this event. As it has been said earlier, let's say I will start with the fact that the Finnish higher education system has two types of universities: the traditional scientific or academic universities, which conduct scientific research and provide education based on it, and the universities of applied sciences, which I represent here. And our mission is to provide more practically focused education, which aims to respond to the needs of the labor market. And the main tasks of our universities of applied sciences are, besides education, of course, research and development and innovation work, and very importantly, regional development. And our universities, we award bachelor's and master's degrees as well as professional teacher education. And at the moment, we have altogether 17,000 students, and the number of our staff is over 1,400. So for the past 10 years, our universities of applied science, we have actively cooperated with the ministries, authorities, and education providers and universities in developing education and the relations between Kazakhstan and Finland. And our main fields have been so far healthcare, pedagogy, and teacher education. And here I want to also mention that one of the main achievements have been that we have been the main international consultants for Ministry of Education and Science in the modernization of initial teacher education, and for the Ministry of Healthcare in the modernization of nursing education in the projects funded by the World Bank. And we have also participated and implemented Erasmus Plus capacity building for higher education projects and mobility projects with Kazakhstani and AU universities in Kazakhstan. And here I want to tell our gratitude to the National Erasmus Office in Kazakhstan and Ms. Tasbulatova, the support that we have got from the National Erasmus Office in implementing and developing the projects. And as our ambassador, Her Excellency Ms. Mäkelä-Buhanist mentioned, we have been very happy that we have been able to cooperate with Bolashak Scholarship Program and Center of International Programs in providing research and teacher internship programs for Kazakhstani experts, and we hoped that we can continue this cooperation in the future. And referring to Ms. Karbozova from Center for International Programs, I was very happy to notice the new internship category of Bolashak for scientists, and especially because this internship is long enough. I mean that this kind of length for internship makes it possible to make a real difference and better and deeper impact on both sides, not only for the Kazakhstani side, but also with hosting parties in Finland. Perhaps in the future, and referring to the presentation proposal from Rector Suleimanov from Almaty Management University, it could be also possible to invite international experts to Kazakhstan with the help of Bolashak Scholarship Program. And this could be a way to enhance the strategic management and understanding on the both universities and the European Union and in Kazakhstan. So what we can offer for Kazakhstani students? We offer study opportunities in 8 fields, which are ICT, culture, business, natural resources and the environment, tourism and hospitality, social services and healthcare, technology and transport, and teacher education. And within these fields, we have around 30 degree programs which are fully taught in English. And just recently, concerning quality, the Finnish National Education Evaluation Center, FINEG, awarded YAMK University of Applied Sciences the first ever quality label for excellence in higher education. And it was especially mentioned that the YAMK's positive impact on the surroundings and the businesses. As another proof of the quality of our programs, many of our degree programs have been granted an international accreditation, such, for example, as EFMD accreditation for international business, and for our engineering programs, we have received Year Ace accreditation for degree programs in information and communications technology, logistics engineering, also mechanical engineering. And referring to the words of Minister Aima Gambiatov, that internationalization of the students is very important. And how a country like Finland, which is the far northeastern corner of European Union, can offer as internationalization for the students. Well, the learning environment in the universities of applied sciences for the students is at the same time very local and very global. The local means that the studies are very tightly connected to the local business life and development environment. And during the studies, the students participate in many kinds of research and development projects with local companies. And the global means here that both the students and also teachers and experts represent a big number of nationalities. So annually, the number of international students of our universities is over 1,000 from around 100 different countries all around the world. So finally, thank you very much for this opportunity to share our experience and views, and we are looking forward to continue cooperation with the Ministry of Education and Science, Bolashak Scholastic Program, and of course the universities of Kazakhstan. And I wish all Kazakhstani students, experts, and scientists warmly welcome to Finland, the safest and happiest country with the cleanest air in the world. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for this great speech. Now, dear participants of our event, I have to note about 2-3 minutes limitation because now we're over for 30 minutes and we have 5 speakers left. We really value all the speeches and suggestions and presentations, but because of this time limit, would be great to have 2-3 minutes speeches. Now I would like to invite Mr. Bernardo Paoli, Study in Italy Program Leader. Please, the floor is yours.
Dear sirs, estimated guest, estimated host, thank you very much. I'll try to keep it very short. Can you hear me? I guess so. Yes. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for the kind invitation to speak. My name is Bernardo Paoli, as you said, and I represent Studiare in Italia organization, which is a fully accredited agency that supports Kazakh students in their dream of getting Italian higher education. We work since 2013 in Almaty and Nur Sultan with the support of Italian embassy. In the past 8 years, we have been organizing an event called Studiare in Italia Education Fair. In Kazakhstan, fully dedicated to Italian education. The event, which is now unfortunately only virtual, collects all students interested in studying in Italy. Overall, we have had more than 6,000 visitors over the years and more than 40 Italian institutions participating. Small but significant numbers that give the idea of how Kazakh students love Italy and would like to be offered with a wider range of opportunities. In our 8 years of work in Kazakhstan, we had some students applying for Bolashak and receiving it. Never more than 4 or 5 students per year for Italy. I believe that the grant is a great opportunity for the students, and I estimate that the students will be very grateful to be offered a wider range of Italian institutions to choose among. In the new Bolashak list, unfortunately, only the Rome University Sapienza is included and 2 language schools. The fields of studies where Kazakh students are more keen to choose Italy rather than other countries' institutions are related to Italian history, tradition, business. Of course, Kazakh students love to pick Italian institutions for creative industries studies, architecture, design, fashion. The second major they pick is related to tourism management and culinary. And then third place comes to business studies. Actually, hundreds of students from Kazakhstan are admitted every year to Italian universities through Italian ministerial and regional scholarships or at their own expenses. Italy is home to very prestigious institutions in all nominated fields, and all programs are fully accredited by the Italian Ministry of Education. Politecnico di Milano, Politecnico di Torino for architecture, engineering and design, Bocconi for business and economics, Ulm for humanities, Istituto Marangoni for fashion and design, and many others. And they are praised all across the world as top-level education providers, even if they are often underestimated by generic university rankings. The Kazakh students we speak with would be very happy to be granted with an opportunity to study in specific fields within the most prestigious Italian institutions. Most of the nominated fields are eligible for the Bolashak programs as priority majors, so everything is possible. I take this opportunity to thank the Italian embassy and Bolishak for this amazing opportunity. And it is an honor for me to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your brief but great speech. Please, Mr. Gude Schneiders, Head of Section International Marketing, Germany's DAAD. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure and honor to be able to speak to you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I would like to share my screen. I have just one slide, and I would actually not like to speak about DAAD, but I would like to introduce a project which Adrian Wiel from the European Commission already mentioned, and which is a quite specific offer to bring together European universities and Kazakhstani universities within the framework of the Study in Europe project funded by the European Commission. We organize a Study in Europe fair in Kazakhstan next year, planned for the second quarter in 2022. We is the DAD, but we are just the German Academic Exchange Service, but we are just the organizer on behalf of the Study in Europe project, in which we work together with the colleagues from Campus France, NAFIC, the partner organization in Estonia, and Academic Cooperation Institution. Tasks of the fair will be to advise Kazakhstani students about higher education opportunities in Europe, and also to raise the knowledge of higher education and opportunities in Kazakhstan on the side of the European institutions. We plan to bring at least 40 European universities and national education agencies to Kazakhstan from a variety of European countries. As I said, it's planned for the second quarter in 2022. We haven't decided yet whether it will be in Nur Sultan or Almaty or both places. And the fair will involve networking meetings of European universities and national education agencies and Kazakhstani universities. And we would like very much within this project cooperate, coordinate with Bolashak, as Bolashak are organizing their own fairs, and we are already in contact with Bolashak. So this is an invitation to all of you, to the Kazakhstani universities and to the European partners to take part in this project. And of course, details will follow later on. Thank you very much. That's it from my side.
Many thanks. And here we see Mr. Minkovsky, head of the DAAD Information Center, Kazakhstan. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you. Please, 2 minutes limit.
I start immediately. So thank you very much to my previous colleague, Dr. Schneiders. So I'll also show you a very short presentation, which actually subsumizes the work of DAAD in Kazakhstan, because like we actually do what the universities, what the German universities do in Kazakhstan via our scholarship. As you can see, the first slide, we did it in Russian and in English. The first one subsumizes the most important scholarships we do provide. For example, 19 scholarships we did provide this year for master scholarships in Germany, as well as 5 scholarships for PhD and for research. We do our office, which is based and located in a German Kazakh university in Almaty, in online information, online help, registration, and so on. So actually, we are also on social media, as you can see, 2,000 followers so far. So we adopted to the online regime, which has, started in last year or was like really pushed forward by the pandemics. Here you got the same presentation in English. The second one, which is maybe even more important or more interesting to you, because it's like given examples what DAAD does in Kazakhstan with its partners. The first one I want to emphasize is the biggest project of DAAD and of German universities, German partners in Central Asia, and especially in Kazakhstan, is the German Kazakh University, which has already been mentioned in Almaty. We teach our students in 4 languages. I'm also a lecturer at this university. There is the so-called flying faculty. So you got German professors teaching in German and partially in English at these universities. And also we got lecturers, again, at German Kazakh universities, but also at the KazGU and the Nazarbayev University in Nur Sultan, and also in Almaty at the Al-Farabi University and the Almaty Technical University. But besides, we do and we promote cooperation with universities between Germany, Europe, because German universities are highly linked with their European partners, and Kazakh universities. Just 3 examples for you to have this in mind. One example is the German law at KazGU, also in Nur Sultan, having a cooperation with University Halle-Wittenberg, and also a Bavarian university, Hof, having a good relationship with the TAGU, the textile industry in Taraz, and again, the Hof University with Almayu, which has already been mentioned today. That's just a little example of what we are doing here. DAD is working here for over 20 years in Kazakhstan, and we are very glad and grateful to our Kazakhstani partners and Europeans as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I would like to give a speech to Mr. Carlos Banek, Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange. And please, that is one of the last speeches for today. Thank you.
Hello, I hope you can all hear me. I'll be very, very brief here and see the presentation. So I actually had a longer presentation, but I'll just do it very shortly. So the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange is an agency under the Ministry of Education and Science of Poland. And we are the agency responsible, we are actually the institution responsible for the internationalization of Polish higher education and science. We work on 4 main levels, or 4 different levels, which are programs for scientists. So we are talking about people who are researchers and related to the university, engaged in the work of research. Institutions, so promoting the cooperation between Polish universities, and in this case would be Kazakh institutions, students, and Polish, and the promotion of Polish language abroad. And by the Polish language, we should understand not only the Polish language, but a little bit of Polish culture to selected centers through different programs. It is important to know, and apart from this, also we do have bilateral agreements between Poland and each country. And it is important to know that all, like when I mentioned scientists and students, we deal with both incoming students as outgoing students. So we do the all internationalization to some extent. Of course, we cooperate with the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So here in my presentation, I had a little bit of each program, which I am going to skip due to the short time that I have. So just to kind of sum it up pretty much, because I will not skip some programs and talk about the others. The amount of Polish students, foreign students in Poland are growing, Kazakh students as well. So we're welcoming students and also professors. So we do have offers for you to do a postdoc for Polish descendants. Actually, that's an interesting program called General Andres program for Polish descendants to come and do their bachelor's or master's here in Poland. We also offer the first year of Polish language. So you can choose to study either on the English track or in the Polish track. It's up of the knowledge. So for English, we demand a little bit higher because Polish is not that an easy language. So, and also Poland offers hundreds of almost 800 programs in English degrees. So it's not like we do have a broad offer of programs in English. Polish medicine, the courses of medicine in Poland are by the United States of America, so that's another plus. And also, as any other country that we've had here on the conference today, we do offer prime quality research and education, and whatever it's the University of Warsaw, the Jagiellonian University in Krakow, the Warsaw School of Technology. So I guess in order to keep it short, otherwise you guys are gonna kill me, I will write on the chat my email in case someone wants to have a better contact, then I will direct address to the proper person. either from the Department of Institutions or to a certain institution itself. And I'll also be providing the link on the chat for the webpage of NAVA in English, so you can check also the whole offer of programs. Many of the calls are closed for this year, but they are going to reopen next year. So it's a nice idea to start promoting, since it's hard to say a promotion right before the call opens, right? So you can already check and try to make any contact with us. I'll write them on the chat. I hope I fit on time.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. Of course, we will share all the presentations from this event, and our dear colleagues from Bolashak will distribute these presentations to all the participants from both sides. And our last speech, now I'm giving floor to the Directorate for Study in Hungary, Tempus Public Foundation, Ms. Janotic, and also after we have closing remarks by our Ambassador Carlson and Vice Minister Irgaliyev. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind invitation to speak about the Hungarian experience with the Kazakhstani universities. I promise I will be very quick and short, keeping in mind the approaching end of the conference. I really like to highlight two main aspects of the Hungarian-Kazakhstani cooperations. One is the institutional cooperation aspect. I can tell that the Hungarian and Kazakhstani universities have a very active and intensive relationship, mostly in the framework of the Erasmus Plus Credit Mobility Program. Out of the 65 Hungarian universities, there is 31 Hungarian universities that has active partnerships with Kazakhstani institutions. The other important aspect of our relationship is the individual mobility programs that has been mentioned by the president of Bolashak in her presentation. The most important scholarship program between Hungary and Kazakhstan is the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship program, which offers this year 250 quota for Kazakhstani students to be able to study in Hungarian institutions. This quota means the popularity of the program and the great partnership between Tempus Public Foundation and Bolashak, because at the beginning of the program in 2014, the quota for Kazakhstani students were 40. So 250 quota today is a great increase, and it signifies the popularity of the program. Another aspect I wanted to mention, the president of Bolashak in her presentation mentioned the very thorough and careful selection process of the Kazakhstani students who want to go to abroad for a study period. We, as the Stipendium Hungaricum program managers, greatly appreciate this process because it ensures that mostly the most qualified and excellent students get to be nominated to be able to study abroad. On the other hand, I'd like to propose a partnership between Tempus Public Foundation and Bolashak on optimizing the timeline of this selection process, because of the thorough selection process, many times it results in delaying the nomination of the students, which might cause problems during the entrance exam of the students to Hungarian universities. So that is an aspect that could be improved in our partnership between Tempus Public Foundation and Bolashak. And thank you for your attention. That was, in a nutshell, the Hungarian experience.
Thank you very much. For closing remark, I would like to give a microphone to dear Vice Minister Quvanish Irgaliyev, Vice Minister of Education and Science.
Thank you. Dear partners, colleagues who are watching us online, I guess, and friends, I'm really delighted to be here. Thank you very much for spending your time today with us. And as a closing remark, I would like to mention two things. First of all, it looks like there's a mutual understanding and agreement that we have to take this sort of collaboration to the next level, right? So I hope we will do so and not just leave it here in this room as a, statements and words. And the second thing that I want to mention, I'm really happy to see that not only we as a Minister of Education and the Center for International Program ready to send students. As the Minister mentioned that we already enhanced the list of the universities and we open to do any other things that we need to do so to increase the number of students who would like to go there. So it's, please let us know if there's anything else we need to do and we'll work out that as well. But also I'm happy to see that our universities also not just willing, but also have a capacity to receive students from European Union countries. As you can see, many of our rectors were speaking fluently in English, and not just only speaking, but also they mentioned that they have a capacity, they have faculty members who are also got world education from the Western universities, from your universities as well. So I'm also invite you to send students from your universities, from European Union to Kazakhstan as well. I think it will just enrich our collaboration and the relationship between Kazakhstan and the EU countries as well. So thank you very much for coming today, and I wish you health as pandemic is not over yet. So please get vaccinated if you haven't done so, and stay healthy and safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Vice Minister. I should emphasize that Quvanish Ergaliyev, he has PhD from Harvard. So I think that it's a great honor to have him as a new Vice Minister. And he is Bolashak graduate. So now I'm giving a floor to our dear ambassador, Sven-Olof Carlsson, for closing remarks. And then after this, we should have a photo all together. So please don't rush, don't leave the room. Thank you.
Okay, it's good. Okay, sorry. Well, time is running, and I think Vice Minister Yergaliyev summed it up very accurately, and I would like to thank again the Ministry and the Center for International Programs and all the participants from the member states, from Kazakh universities, from our coordinating bodies in the member states. I think it was a good awareness raising opportunity. We see that there is indeed a lot of potential, but not only. I mean, there was also concrete steps that can be taken. We learned about, for instance, this education fair, which is being already planned for next year. So there has also been a kind of matchmaking element in this meeting today. So thank you everybody who has been participating here and online, and also to my colleagues, to Elnura Bakanova, who has moderated the session, and to her colleagues. And we wish you, Mr. Vice Minister, all the best in your new endeavor. And I think this was a very good opportunity to start cooperation with you. We wish you all the best to you and to all your colleagues in the Ministry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we would like to have a family photo. Please, would you come to this stage? And again, many, many thanks for all the participants online and who came in person. Thank you. Good luck. See you all.